Okay, so this is going to be a relatively short video of how to solve for percents using proportions, okay? So let's get right into it. A shirt costs $40 and is on sale for 25% off. How much is the discount? Anytime they give us a percent, we write it over 100. So this is going to be 25% over 100%. And we're going to set that equal to, well, if 100 is our total, our other total is going to be $40. But we don't know what that's going to mean in terms of the percent, okay? So ordinarily we would cross multiply and divide, but we don't always have to. So in this particular case, let's see if we can simplify our first fraction. We can, but if we do, what does it simplify into? So I know that 25 and 100 share a common factor of 25. Okay, 25 represents 25 cents. To me, that means a quarter. There are 4 quarters in every dollar. So I know 25 can fit into itself once, and 25 can fit into 100 4 times. So now, I still can cross multiply and divide, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to see if there's a relationship between my 4 and my 40. And there is, and that relationship is that I would multiply by 10. And what I do on the bottom, I must do on the top. So I'm going to multiply that by 10 as well. 1 times 10 equals 10. So how much is the discount? The discount is $10 off, okay? So that's how we set it up, and that's how we work it, okay? Let's work on the second one. It says there are 28 students in a class, and 21 of them turned in their homework. Okay, so part to a whole here, okay? We have 21 kids who turned it in out of a total of 28 students. All right, we want to know about the percent, but we're not sure what that is. But our percents always sit over 100, okay? Now again, you want to ask yourself, can our first fraction be simplified? In this case, the answer is yes, it can be simplified. Common factor between 21 and 28 is actually going to be 7. 7 can go into 21 3 times, and 7 can fit inside of 28 4 times. So even though there isn't a direct relationship between 4 and 100, I'm just, because there is not one, I'm going to go ahead and just cross multiply. 4 times x gives you 4x. 3 times 100 gives you 300. The goal here is to solve for your variable. So because I had to multiply to get my 4x together, I'm going to do the inverse operation, and inverse means opposite. So I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication and divide. And what I do to one side of the equal sign, I do to the other side of the equal sign. Now it's just a matter of 300 divided by 4. I know 4 can fit inside of 37 times. That's going to give me 28. 30 minus 28 is going to give me 2. I bring down my 0. I now have 20. 40 can go into 20 5 times. So that is going to be my answer there. What percent? 75% turned in their homework. All right, let's keep going. For 3, a basketball team won 18 out of 24 games. So for me, the amount of games they won over the total amount of games. All right, now I'm going to set that up as equal to what percent did they win. Well, if they won that many games, I'm not sure what percent that is, but I do know that percent always goes over 100. So again, ask yourself, can we simplify our first fraction? In this case, the answer is definitely yes. And we can simplify it by finding a common factor between 18 and 24. For me, that common factor is going to be 6. And I know 6 can go into 18 3 times. And I know 6 can go into 24 4 times. So our setup is pretty much identical for 3 and 2. And get 4x equals 300. We'll divide both sides by 4. And we'll be able to see that x is equal to percent. Well, percent. All right, perfect. Let's keep going. All right, so let's do number 4. Sorry about that. That was very loud. Number 4 says, what is 35% of 80? Okay. So again, our percents always go over 100. All right. Now, of 80, 80 would represent our total, and we don't know what that looks like. So now we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, right? Can 35 over 100 be simplified? Yes, it can. 35 and 100 share a common factor of 5. And I know 5 goes into 35 7 times, and 5 goes into 100 20 times. So I can actually see a relationship here between my 20 and my 80, and that relationship would be times 4. So if I multiply my 7 times 4, my x should equal 28. So what is 35% of 80? Our answer here is that it's 28. Okay? All right, let's keep on keeping on. So far, so good. Hopefully you're still with me. All right, here it says a video game increased in price by 20%. So they give us some good information here. They want to know what is the new price. So 20%, again, always sits over 100%. If the original total price of the video game was $50, then we need to figure out what the new price is. Okay? So there's definitely a way to simplify this right off the bat. I can get my 2 zeros here, and only because they end in zeros, I can kind of just cancel them out. So I have 2 over 10, and I'm going to find a relationship between 10 and 5, or 50, which is times 5. So I'm going to get my 2 times my 5, and 2 times 5, very simply put, is 10. But we're not done because they want to know what the new price is. If our old price was 50, then we have to add $10, and our new price is actually $60. Number 6. Number 6 says a student got 45 questions correct out of 60. So that's going to look like 45 over 60, and 60 is our total. Our total is always out of 100%. And I'm going to put an X right on top of there. I'm going to simplify first, and then we'll go from there, okay? So if I simplify, I know 15 can go into 45 3 times, and I know 15 can go into 60 4 times. So almost identically to our first and second problem, we're going to get 4x equals 300, divide by 4, divide by 4, and we should end up with 75%. I'm going to stop right there, but I hope that helps.